This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Kia ora, good evening and welcome to the South Today. I'm Sophie Morris. We begin this evening with Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern's afternoon media briefing, where she sets out the rules under Level 1 restrictions, which could possibly come into place by the end of next week.
So here are the golden rules of Level 1 for keeping the virus at bay. 1, if you're sick, stay home. Don't go to work or school, don't socialise. None of that changes when we lift restrictions. We do not want New Zealanders to be stoic and go into workplaces or anywhere else if they're sick. Please still stay home if you're unwell. 2, if you have cold or flu-like symptoms, call your doctor or healthline and make sure you get tested. 3, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. 4, sneeze and cough into your elbow and regularly disinfect shared surfaces. 5, if you're told by health authorities to self-isolate, you must do so immediately. 6, if you're concerned about your well-being or you've got underlying health conditions, we still encourage you to work with your GP to understand how best to stay healthy. 7, keep track of where you've been and who you've seen to help contact tracing if needed. We really encourage people to use the NZ COVID Tracer app as a handy and easy way to do that. 8, businesses should help people keep track of their movements by displaying the Ministry of Health QR code for contact tracing. 9, stay vigilant. There is still a global pandemic going on. People and businesses should be prepared to act fast to step up alert levels if we have to. And finally, 10, people will have had very different experiences over the past couple of months. Whatever you're feeling, it's okay. Be kind to others and be kind to yourself.
The driver of a bus which crashed near Queenstown with 22 Chinese tourists on board has lost his licence for 9 months and has been ordered to pay $9,000 to 2 of the victims. Christchurch-based bus driver 32-year-old Liang Fang was driving the bus and trailer to Glenorchy on January 21st when he lost control on a tight, steep bend near Wilson Bay. The bus tipped over and skidded for about 40 metres, shattering the windows along one side. 4 passengers were flown to hospital, including a 10-year-old girl who lost both hands in the crash. Another woman with a serious arm injury had the limb amputated at the shoulder, while another 18 passengers suffered minor to moderate injuries. Fang was sentenced to 200 hours community work, disqualified from driving for 9 months, and must pay a total of $9,000 to the 2 most seriously injured passengers. Like many businesses, Dunedin's Gallery De Novo was closed during the COVID-19 nationwide lockdown. Gallery staff kept themselves busy online before welcoming clients back with an exhibition by a Dunedin artist whose work has attracted the attention of 90s supermodel Claudia Schiffer.
From Otago to New York Fashion Week, the latest work of Dunedin artist Susie Platt hangs in Gallery De Novo in their current exhibition. Gallery co-director Liz Fraser says the world is opening up for Susie Platt.
And since she's been painting these fashion illustrations, she has done Paris Fashion Week, that was last year, and then this year she was asked to do New York Fashion Week, so it means that she's just gained a whole new audience.
But that isn't Platt's first foray into the fashion world, after she was commissioned by a former supermodel to produce portraits of her daughters.
She painted Claudia Schiffer, the famous supermodel. She painted her 2 daughters' portraits a couple of years ago, and just a couple of weeks ago Claudia, off her own back, posted an image of her standing in front of the 2 portraits, so that was incredible, and it was really just a shout out to Susie, which was an amazing gesture and great publicity for her.
Fraser says Gallery De Novo has shown Platt's work from the gallery's beginnings 15 years ago, and says the connection with Claudia Schiffer and the fashion world is going from strength to strength for the Dunedin artist.
It is amazing. It just shows how global the world is, She painted those illustrations from watching the catwalk shows just after they happened, and did the paintings of sort of signature looks from each collection. And then some of the works were shown in London and some here, so yeah, it's a very big deal.
This exhibition of Susie Platt's work has been up at Gallery de Novo for just on a fortnight and is coming down Thursday, ready for a new exhibition, which would typically call for an opening, but Fraser says under COVID level 2 restrictions that's just not possible.
We won't be having openings just in the immediate future because our exhibition space is upstairs in the mezzanine level and it's just too small to have however many, 50 to 100 people, so we just encourage people to pop in anytime.
Liz Fraser says while the gallery was closed for lockdown, they spent time selling online and have shipped New Zealand artworks to the United Arab Emirates and even further afield. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A local family out fishing on Saturday discovered the body of a man floating in the sea off Point Elizabeth near Greymouth. Police later identified the body as that of a 52-year-old fisherman, formerly of Dunedin. Senior Sergeant Mark Rowbottom of Greymouth says how the man came to be in the sea and where he had been was still being investigated. Rowbottom says there is no evidence to suggest anything sinister in his death. It is one of 4 sudden deaths on the west coast at the weekend. All have been referred to the coroner. Tari Gorge rail workers marched through Dunedin streets to deliver a letter to the Mayor yesterday morning. Protesters say the tourist railway and over 50 jobs could be saved if they branched out into trialling commuter rail.
Taieri Gorge railway workers marched to the Dunedin City Council chambers, urging the Mayor and councillors to support a trial of commuter rail in Dunedin. This comes after Dunedin Railways announced plans to mothball the track and equipment following a downturn in tourism from COVID-19.
Realise that the Board of Dunedin Railways has reacted with zero vision and zero ideas, and so our supporters here and ourselves have done their job for them and come up with several alternatives which will keep this railways going.
Rail and Maritime Transport Union Otago Branch Secretary Dave Kearns says trialling commuter rail is just one of several options which could save some of the 50-plus jobs threatened by the closure.
The commuter rail trial is one of the ideas and the most immediate one that will save jobs, keep the assets rolling, keep them in good condition, and it can be fitted in before Kiwi Rail's freight peak season picks up again during September, and it would feed really good information into a longer term future study of commuter rail in this region.
Kearns says he also has suspicions the decision to mothball the rail following COVID-19 is just a convenient excuse to close the enterprise.
Apparently the only board member to remain will be the chairperson, and I have to wonder how you even operate a board with one person. How do you have meetings, how do you have a quorum? And we're starting to get the growing feeling that actually between the Dunedin City Holdings chairman and the Dunedin Railways chairman that this closure was cooked up, and the COVID lockdown has become a convenient way of actually getting rid of the company.
In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. Residents have their say on the proposed extra investment for Invercargill's city block development. And Hayward's auction house wield their hammers for the first time since lockdown.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Wrens are Otago's painting, tiling and plastering experts. Offering a free measure and quote, Wrens is a name you can trust to get the job done right. Call Wrens today on 477 9384 or visit wrens.co.nz.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
Heaven Sent Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance spheres. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today. If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Do you know Youth Grow in North East Valley? It's an awesome plant nursery where young people can work and learn life skills. You can now order your vegetable seedlings, herbs, bulbs and shrubs over the phone or by email. Either pick up your order on Norwood Street in North East Valley or they can deliver to you. Look for Youth Grow Garden Centre on Facebook or visit youthgrow.org.nz. Happy gardening!
Welcome back. More than 200 people have had their say on the proposed extra investment for Invercargill City Block development. The Invercargill City Council is consulting about whether it should invest an additional $16 million and repurpose the $5 million it originally allowed for design changes. The project has a total budget of $46 million. Members of the public are also able to ask questions about the project online. Submissions close on June 12. To the untrained eye, it might look like a piece of well-used plumbing, but a closer inspection reveals it's actually the original telescope from the Beverly Big Observatory, which was returned after 45 years this week.
This 12-inch reflector telescope is coming back home to Dunedin's Beverly Big Observatory. The scope was first installed in this very observatory almost 100 years ago in the 1920s, but spent the latter part of the 20th century at the Oamaru Observatory before falling into disuse. Damien McNamara's father saved the telescope and used it to photograph a comet colliding with Jupiter in 1994.
Basically, my father had a rubbish run around town. He saw this tube, what looked like a telescope, sitting out the back of a pharmacy, and asked about it, and it was indeed a telescope. Found out it was the Beverly Big telescope. Well, we call it the Beverly Big telescope in Oamaru. They call it the Ward telescope down here because it's the man that ground the mirror. And then Dad put it into a custom-made fork setup to shoot Shoemaker Levy 9 hitting Jupiter. So it's had a good history. It needs a bit of TLC. But since then it's been pretty much in storage.
While it's unlikely the telescope will be used again, he's pleased to have it back on display along with other items of interest at Dunedin's observatory.
Be able to bring the original telescope back to where it was built, or to the building that it was built for, it adds to the story. You can then show the telescope, you tell the story, you can tell where it's been, what it did, where it was, and it creates that community even further and extends the story even further and allows you to bring more people in that want to know the history.
McNamara concedes town-based observatories do suffer from light pollution, but they can provide a convenient way of introducing the public to the wonders of astronomy, with better night sky viewing opportunities existing out of town.
When you want to find dark skies, you'll find dark skies. The observatory doesn't necessarily need to have it. I know these guys from Dunedin Astronomical Society have a dark sky site over in the Middlemarch area. So yeah, if you want dark skies, you'll find them.
In Dunedin, the South Today.
Dunedin's busiest auction house is back in action this week, combining the old school with the new. Hayward's Auction House Dunedin held its first general auction since mid-March today, and has decided to hold on to some elements it used during the COVID-19 lockdown.
There's plenty on offer at Haywood's Auction House's first general auction since the COVID-19 lockdown. But owner Bridget Moore says people don't need to come to the auction rooms on Dunedin's Carroll Street to look at the items or make a bid.
So we introduced an online platform. So now people can bid online for antique and collectible auctions, and it's live webcast, so you can choose to come to the rooms or you can do it at home.
She says Haywood's got to try out the online platform with a more specialised auction last week and were pleased with the results.
Last week we had antique and collectible auction, and that was first using our new online platform. So that was live webcast, which was a great success.
Moore says since the lockdown they've added other online auction features to their website.
We've also introduced Haywood's Marketplace, where you can bid online or come in and buy goods. And we're currently running a comic auction online.
In Dunedin, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, we meet the Otago Sportswoman of the Year and we check out tomorrow's weather.
Inside are all sorts of innovations from all over China.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Come on, mate. The blue doesn't go with the brown.
Heaven Sent Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance spheres. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Wrens are Otago's painting, tiling and plastering experts. Offering a free measure and quote, Wrens is a name you can trust to get the job done right. Call Wrens today on 477 9384 or visit wrens.co.nz.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Do you know Youth Grow in North East Valley? It's an awesome plant nursery where young people can work and learn life skills. You can now order your vegetable seedlings, herbs, bulbs and shrubs over the phone or by email. Either pick up your order on Norwood Street in North East Valley or they can deliver to you. Look for Youth Grow Garden Centre on Facebook or visit youthgrow.org.nz. Happy gardening!
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Bowel cancer is the second highest cause of cancer death in New Zealand.
And New Zealand's got a higher rate of bowel cancer than many other Western countries.
Because it's one of those areas of the body that we don't talk about often enough.
It is one of those silent killers almost, that if it strikes and if you develop symptoms, sometimes it's too late.
So it's a major issue.
Welcome back. Courtney Duncan has been crowned Otago Sportswoman of the Year. The 24-year-old Dunedin rider endured 3 years of bitter setbacks before finally claiming last year's Women's Motocross World Championship on her 4th attempt, and she was rewarded for it at this year's Otago Sports Awards.
And I'm lucky enough to be joined by the NZME Sportswoman of the Year for 2020, Courtney Duncan. Congratulations, mate.
Thanks very much. It's an honour to receive the award.
Hell of a year, world champion year. Take us back, 9 out of 10 races you've won this year. Pretty much unheard of.
Yeah, so like you say, last year, should I say, was a very good year. I couldn't have asked for much better, to be honest with you. Like you say, 9 out of 10 wins, so was able to fix a consistency from the prior years. And obviously that was good enough to clinch me that maiden world championship, which, as I think we all know, I'd been waiting a long time for, so special feeling for sure to cross that line.
Great to stay injury free. You must have had still some niggles during that year though.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think in our sport, and it's probably in any sport in general, when you're competing day in, day out, and at that level, you're always going to have something that's not quite 100%, whether it be, your knee or, your wrist or whatever it may be. But I think for the majority part of the year, I was pretty healthy. And like you said, had multiple injuries in the past, so it was a win in itself to have a healthy year. And then obviously, the championship just topped it right off.
So you loving getting back on the bike after out of lockdown?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously lockdown was pretty tough. We all had to stay housebound. So I did some home workouts and some runs around the block, but kept it pretty plain and simple really. But since level 3, I've been able to get out on the bike a bit and obviously hit the roads on the cycle and stuff like that. So definitely made me realise again how much I love what I do when you can't do it. And no better feeling than to be back at it. And hopefully the season goes ahead later in the year. But at this point in time, we're just kind of waiting to hear on final rules and regulations. Thanks so much, and I couldn't agree. Like the amount of female athletes pumping, before and even now, that having so much success on the world stage, it's so cool. And I'm a huge fan of those guys too, to be able to fly the flag down here in Dunedin and also in New Zealand. It's really cool. So hopefully we can all continue to stay on the top step in the years to come.
Congratulations. Thanks again, Courtney.
Thank you.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. This afternoon, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern set out the rules which will be in place under Level 1 COVID-19 restrictions. A Dunedin artist's work is attracting the attention of the international fashion world, and a local gallery says it's boosting her profile. And Dunedin railway workers took their protests to the Dunedin City Council following the proposal to all but close the passenger services down. And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Weather proudly brought to you by MoMap.
Starting with the southern view, this morning's sunrise from Mornington. Looking at the situation, a very cold southerly airflow will bring wintry showers to the region tomorrow. Snow inland to about 300 metres. Showers will clear by Friday. Expect some heavy frost from Friday night through the weekend. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are looking at cloudy skies, showers and 15 degrees. To the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim can expect some cloud, rain and 14 degrees. In Canterbury, it will be cloudy and wet here as well. Kaikoura aims for 13, Christchurch heads for 11, while those in Ashburton can expect cloudy skies, steady rain and 9 degrees. To the southern towns, those in the Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore are set for fresh southerlies and sleet. The Catlins and Balclutha should reach 6 degrees, while Lumsden and Gore should have a high of 5. In central Otago, Wanaka can expect gusty southeasterlies and sleet. Queenstown, gusty southeasterlies and snow showers. Alexandra, gusty southeasterlies and showers. And Tiano, decreasing southeasterlies and showers clearing. Alexandra and Tiano head for 6 degrees, while Wanaka should reach 5 and Queenstown 4. To the northern towns, on the coast, Timaru and Oamaru can expect fresh southerlies and rain. 9 degrees for Timaru, 8 for Oamaru. Inland, Twizel and Omarama can expect gusty southeasterlies, sleet and 5 degrees. In Dunedin, rain developing tonight with an overnight low of 7. Cloudy with periods of rain tomorrow and very cold. Southerly winds becoming strong, then easing. Snow showers to 300 metres late in the day. A high of 7 and a low of 2. Broken cloud on Friday with a few sunny periods developing. Very cold with light westerly quarter winds. Heavy frost inland on Friday night. A high of 8 and a low of -3. And in Invercargill, rain tonight with cold southerlies and an overnight low of 8. Rain easing to wintry showers tomorrow, some hail likely. Very cold with fresh to strong gusty southerly winds. Showers clearing late in the day, a high of 9 and a low of 4. Fine on Friday with some clouds. Cold with moderate westerly winds, a high of 8 and a low of 3. That's all for our news this Wednesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz or follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.